Hello, I'm John Kneebone. Welcome to Mainline Bait's Carp Fishing TV, where today I'm going to take you through a video that we've titled Triple Action Attraction. And what does that mean? Well, it's quite simple really. There's three main elements of attraction that you can include within your presentation. So today I'm going to show you how to include those into a tiny, just a mouthful, bite-sized piece of attraction that's perfect for fishing at this time of year when you might not be using much bait, but also great at other times of the year when you're fishing over a baited area and you want them fish to hone in on that rig. So let's switch to the overhead cam and get this presentation put together. Okay, so let's begin by taking a look at what the three main elements of attraction actually are. And first up, we've got food source attraction. Items of bait that contain a food signal, things like buoys, pellets and ground baits will all provide this element of attraction. Next up, we've got liquid attraction that's going to disperse throughout the water column. Things like dips, bait sprays, and of course the unique attraction of the smart liquid. Finally, we've got visual attraction, and this is really where your hook baits come in, nice and bright to grab the attention of the fish. And what we're going to do is sandwich these three elements of attraction into one bite-sized presentation with two small parcels of food coated in liquid attraction, all sat around a bright hook bait. I'm going to show you a few variations of this presentation, and for the first I'm going to use some response pellets to give me my initial element of food source attraction. So I'm just going to empty out a few pellets into a little dish, and then just going to take a small funnel web PVA mesh system, add some of the pellets, not too many, I'm only looking to make a little small parcel of attraction. These response pellets are perfect for this part of the presentation because they'll break down slowly, releasing a food source element of attraction over a long period of time. And there you go, it's about the size of a 50p piece. And most of you are familiar with how to tie these up, but if you've not seen this before and you're new to this type of system, you simply tighten down your ball of bait, make a single overhand loop, make a second overhand loop, so that you're ready to make your next bag. Take your scissors and simply snip between the two knots, and there you go, you've made yourself a little parcel of response pellets. So I'll just quickly show you that again. Add your pellets, twist around the top, make a single overhand loop, then a second. Take your scissors, snip between the two, and then I'm just going to quickly make a few more bags, as I'd recommend this so you've always got something ready to go. Next, I'm going to take some ground bait to continue this food source element of attraction. I'm using the Cloud 9 ground bait here. It's got a fruity like aroma and it's perfect for this type of presentation. Just going to add some of this ground bait to a dish, because you're going to see in a moment we're going to make up some really small compact PVA sticks to attach to our hook link. So there we go, just adding enough ground bait to make a few sticks. It's a lovely fluffy ground bait, this one. Then I'm going to take the multi-stim and I'm going to add my first part of liquid attraction to this presentation. Just pour in a little bit onto the dry ingredient, mix that through with the plunger from the PVA system. Just speed this up as I just keep working it through, making sure that that moisture from the liquid is evenly distributed throughout the ground bait. And then we just get our hands in. Like I say, we just want to make sure that all the ground bait is nice and even with its texture. Now I'm just going to add a little bit more of the liquid. It's better to add it a little at a time. You obviously can't take it out once you've put it in. And then we'll just keep going, and now we've got to a point where we just want to leave that ground bait for a little while, just so that it can absorb all the moisture from that liquid. And there we go, I've waited around about 30 minutes, 40 minutes. The ground bait soaked up all that liquid, it's nice and fluffy, but when I squeeze it together it will bind, but then it will crumble back to its fluffy like texture, and that's perfect. Right, now let's start making some sticks. Again, I've got the same narrow PVA funnel that I used for those little bags of pellet. Just going to add a little bit of that ground bait, compress it into the bottom of the tube. I think I'll just add a little bit more there. Compress it down with the plunger like so. And there you go, you can see we've just formed a little stick there, round about 2 to 3 centimeters long, inch long, something like that. Then just pull off a little bit of that PVA just so that we've got plenty to work with, and just like we did with those response pellets, we twist the top of the bag like so, or the PVA, sorry, make a first overhand loop, tighten that down around the top of that stick so it remains nice and compact, make a second overhand loop, tighten that down so we're ready for our next stick, cut between the two. And there we go, we've got a lovely compact PVA stick that we're going to be threading onto our hook link in a moment. And again, I'll just run that through with you again. I'm sort of aware that we've got lots of people checking out our videos at the minute that are new to fishing. So as you can see, we just add some of that ground bait that's infused with that multi-stim, compress it down with the plunger so we can form our stick. And this bit is really important, just tighten down around the top of that stick with a few twists, make a single overhand loop, tighten that knot flush to the top of that stick, make a second overhand loop. It's really simple, cut between the two, and there we go, another little PVA stick ready to go. And then again, I just quickly make up a few while I'm in the process, so that I've always got sticks, bags, everything ready to go. So if I make a miscast, I'm always going to be more inclined to get that cast back out on the spot, back out on the money, rather than say to myself, well, that'll do. And there you go, that didn't take long. 5 little sticks, all ready to go, ready to give us a food source element of attraction. So now we have 2 forms of food source attraction. We've got our little sticks of ground bait that are going to give us a high level of attraction instantly, as well as our pellets that will release attraction over a long period of time. And now we're going to add our visual element of attraction with some pastel barrel wafters. We've got the fruity squid here, pink in colour, nice and bright. It's going to do the job perfectly. And I've attached that to a rig that we've shown you a few times on the channel now, and that's a simple wafter rig. If you'd like to know how to tie this rig, I'll leave a link to that video in the description box below. We can now start putting the presentation together, starting with a little bag of those response pellets. I'm just going to nick that onto the hook like so. There we go, only just nicked onto the hook. And then now I'm going to take an open latch needle, push that through one of our sticks. There we go. Take the end of the rig, just hook that onto the loop, close the latch. We can just feed that little stick down the hook link. There we go. And then we're just going to tease the hook into that stick. So now not only have we got a high attract presentation, but we've also got one that's going to help prevent tangles. The hook is masked, so there's nothing that can go wrong with our hook point, and we've got those 2 food source elements and the visual element of attraction. What I've done now is I've just taken an anti-tangle sleeve and I've just trimmed around about a centimetre off the end of it there, just so it's a little bit wider, just makes it a little bit easier to put back over the knot that's formed the loop at the end of the rig. And just slide that back onto the rig now. Now the stick's in place. We can just feed that back up over the knot. And that's the end of the rig, nice and tidy and ready to attach to a quick change swivel. We can now add the final element of attraction, and that's the liquid attraction. And I'm using the Fruit Smart Liquid here. We really don't need very much at all, so I'm just going to take the overall presentation and just squirt a little bit of that liquid down around the hook bait, around the hook that's obviously sat between those two little parcels of food. And there we go, that's our first version of the triple action attraction presentation put together. In the water, you can now see how all these elements of attraction are working together. We've got those pellets just breaking down there, they're giving us some food that's going to sit around our hook bait, and now that PVA stick of ground bait, that's breaking down, releasing a massive amount of attraction, not just around the hook bait but up into the water column, helping to pull those fish down. And sat within that little mouthful of food, of course, we've got our little pastel barrel wafter hook bait just saying to this carp, come and get me, come and pick me up. And then, as you can see, we've got that liquid attraction of the Smart Liquid, that unique reaction that it gives us in water, pushing attraction up into the water column as well as along the bottom and all around that hook bait. And here's our next variation of the presentation, only this time I've changed the hook bait to a double stack of toppers, nice and bright and still giving us that visual element. Quick tip here, add your split shot or counterbalance needed for the hook bait once you've put your stick into position. As with the previous presentation, the PVA sticker ground bait breaks down quickly to release a huge amount of attraction, but this time I've changed the pellets for a little bag of particles, because this is what I want you to be doing, guys. I want you to be thinking about your presentation, and if you've been using particles with success, then incorporate them within this presentation. It doesn't mean that you can't still think about the three elements of attraction. And now look at that Smart Liquid that was around the hook bait, sending up a big cloud of attraction that no carp is going to be able to ignore or resist. And finally, we've got a third presentation that's a bit more boilie focused, with a little bag of broken baits and a little snowman rig. And you'll recognise these hook baits from our hook bait hacks video. They've already had a little coating of liquid and a nice bright fluoro pink and white pop-up to complete the snowman presentation. Again, we've already covered this rig and I'll leave a link to that video in the description. And once again, in the water, you can see that to be able to utilise all three elements of attraction, you're not just restricted to one bait or another. Like I say, I really want you to be thinking about your own presentation. What's been working for you through the summer? What are you going to be fishing through the winter? Why don't you take that confidence from the summer into the winter? If it's boilies, then use this presentation where you can see we've got a little bag of boilies that's giving us some food source attraction. We've got liquid attraction from the Sail Smart Liquid, and then we've got that snowman rig that's giving us that visual stimulus to pull them fish in. There's lots going on. If the fish aren't attracted to the ground bait, they might be attracted to the boilies. If it's not the boilies, it could be the liquid. And if they're not hungry at all, you've got that visual attraction that could provoke a take just out of curiosity. I could continue to describe what's going on here, but it's clear to see we've got attraction levels by the bucket load. And as I said at the beginning of the video, this can be perfect for if you're casting out a one bite, one mouthful presentation, as well as if you're trying to pull fish down towards your hook bait when fishing over a baited area. Hopefully you found this video helpful, even if it's just got you thinking that little bit harder about how to utilise and incorporate attraction within your presentation. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, hit the notification button so you know when our next video is coming out. If you don't yet subscribe to the channel, please hit that subscription button below, we'd really appreciate it. And if you'd like to watch more how-to step-by-step videos, I'll leave links to those here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.